Hello, hi. This is Jaden Reed. I'm currently running for the mayor of Crest City, Nevada, and I just wanted to enlighten people on an issue that I'm personally um, passionate about. Something I think people should be passionate about in general. Um, Zoos. There's been a lot of buzz lately surrounding zoos and whether they're harmful or not. Now, I personally think I personally think zoos are a benefit to both the economy and the general welfare of American citizens. I mean, think about the last time you put something in a display case. Family photos, for instance, technically exist in a form of a display case. If you collect globes, your most precious globes are most likely going to end up in a display case of some form because you don't want your friends or neighbors coming in and spinning them too much, which really messes up the joints. When you look at your most prized globes, the most prized globes you have in your possession, shining there in their display cases, how do you feel? Exactly. You feel ecstatic. You feel like opening up your wallet and showering the American economy with globe and display case purchases. That's what you want. Now we move on to zoos. Essentially, the idea of a zoo is to keep various animals in display cases at its most fundamental level. Um, so, not only does this make Americans want to purchase more animals, right, which makes them happy, but it also makes them appreciate the animals more if they're in a display case. So, just like with the globe example, okay, the globes you have invested so much time and energy in deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. Okay? So do the animals inside of their little boxes, inside of their display cases. They deserve respect and dignity. And by the fact that they're in the display case, you're going to want to dignify them even more than you originally did. Um, so there's also something to be said about the size of display case. Okay, if you have too large of a display case for the object contained within it, it can seem distant from the admirer and therefore does not stimulate the admirer as much as when the display case is much smaller. Which is why I'm not only arguing for greater prevalence of zoos in America, but I'm also advocating for smaller sized encasement strategies to propagate admiration and financial investment. There's also something to be said about allowing animals to roam around freely while encased in malleable rubber suits, making them entirely harmless to the public, but still able to express themselves through the manner in which animals should be expressing themselves, scratching themselves and whatnot, roaming about the city, but protected from hurting the civilians. The rubber suits would be their own form of display case. In fact, it would be the smallest form of display case possible. You're really getting close there. Uh, just imagine walking through a zoo or a random street corner, for that matter, and being able to brush lightly past perhaps a gorilla entirely encased in rubber sealant. Not only would that stimulate me as an admirer, but I would immediately feel the urge to shower that gorilla with as much money as humanly possible. I would, I would be, I would make it fly from my pockets, just simply because of how much I admire that passing animal. If a government employee has a bucket underneath that gorilla to sort of catch the errant cash uh, being hurled by said admirer, the economy sees a massive bump. And that's just on the scale of one animal. So, you know, imagine a proverbial Noah's Ark situation wherein every species of animal is given free rein to roam about every municipal area in the United States in pairs, covered head to toe in thick rubber suits. Just think about that for a second. The display cases would go through the roof, and our buckets to collect the earnings would need to get bigger and bigger, right? People would just be showering these animals in their rubber suits with money, just like they do in a normal zoo, just like you would do with your collection of globes. So you know, the our buckets, our collection buckets would need to get bigger and bigger to account for that. So we have, eventually they become so large that they're implanted every 6 inches on every sidewalk in America. Just little buckets inside of each, 6 inches, every sidewalk in America. Collection buckets. Only they're not just buckets, right? But eventually they're tubes. They're tubes that send all of the flying money into a vacuum sealed chamber far beneath the ground. It's going to suck up all the money. And the money would then be grounded into a thick soup, which the president could drink. And thus giving him the energy and intestinal fortitude to run the country effectively. This would be a soup that would contain all the nutrients from all the money. So, in essence, more zoos would make America not only the greatest country on earth, but the most stimulated country. We would be stimulated by the roaming and rubberiness, quite frankly, of our animal population. This would solve so many problems. And so I just wanted to make a video that would be addressing this issue. Yeah. So that's basically it. Please vote for me when you get the chance. Vote for me in your local municipal government election. Crest City, Nevada. And I would be running on the zoo ticket. And followed by the tube collection. We would be working on the tubes and getting them installed eventually, but obviously that needs to scale with the. But yeah, if you just consider it. Consider what I've said. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, signing off. Vote. Make sure to vote. This is Jaden Reed, running for mayor of Crest City, Nevada. All right. Thank you.